Two founders with the exact same business model pitch the exact same venture firm. One gets a term sheet, the other gets a polite pass. Many early-stage founders assume the difference comes down to the math. They spend weeks building highly complex 5-year financial projections, believing that a perfectly modeled spreadsheet will eventually trigger an investor's decision to commit capital. In reality, an active venture capitalist looks at hundreds of pitch decks every single month. Their inbox is a blur of jargon-heavy, data-dense presentations that all blend together and are forgotten within hours of being opened. Investors are actively searching for evidence of market traction and forward motion, but they will never dig deep enough to find your retention metrics if your opening slide requires them to decode a convoluted industry puzzle. The initial hurdle in securing capital is not a test of financial viability. It is a brutal test of basic communication and comprehension. This is where the 5-second test comes in. Your pitch deck tagline has exactly 5 seconds to cleanly place your company into a category the investor already understands, instantly de-risking your concept in their mind. A pitch deck tagline is completely different from a marketing slogan. Nike's "Just Do It" evokes emotion for a consumer, but putting something like that on a slide tells an investor absolutely nothing about how your business operates. For instant clarity, use the X for Y framework. Anchoring to a successful company lets investors map your business model immediately. Or use a benefit-oriented structure to state exactly what you do, attaching a specific, quantified metric to prove the exact value you create. Alternatively, if you are disrupting an existing industry, the Market plus Insight framework allows you to make a bold claim about a major shift in consumer behavior, forcing your startup into a category of one. Delivering a precise, jargon-free tagline in those first 5 seconds proves to the investor that you possess the ruthless focus required to actually execute your own business plan. Once the deck is understood and the meeting begins, the investor's focus shifts away from the slides. Their attention turns entirely to your vocal delivery. Facing the pressure of the room, many founders fall into a psychological trap. Out of fear that they might make a mistake or omit a specific detail, they script out every word of their presentation in advance. When you deliver a pitch using full, formal sentences that were written to be read rather than spoken, you end up sounding robotic. The delivery mimics someone reading a software licensing agreement aloud. Because you are reciting a script, your natural vocal variation flattens out. The pitch of your voice locks in, the pacing becomes monotonous, and the resulting performance creates immediate psychological distance between you and the room. In the attempt to project total perfection, relying on a rigid script actually destroys the single most valuable asset an early-stage founder brings to the table: perceived authenticity. The solution is structural preparation. Instead of memorizing exact sentences, you internalize the specific flow of your core ideas. You prepare by outlining bullet points and key concepts. This allows you to speak in natural fragments, use everyday language, and allow for the kind of brief, intentional pauses that happen in real conversation. When you aren't bound to a predetermined sequence of words, you can actively read the room. You can adjust your tone based on a nod from a partner or pause to answer a question directly, creating a collaborative dynamic. Displaying this kind of conversational agility sends a strong signal to the investor. It demonstrates that you have a deep, internalized mastery of your domain that doesn't require a cheat sheet. Delivering your pitch off script shifts the entire nature of the evaluation. The investor stops merely assessing the viability of a product and begins to believe in the person leading it. Even with a flawless tagline and a natural delivery, founders frequently make one final error. They spend weeks perfecting their total addressable market slides while entirely ignoring their own personal connection to the pain point they are trying to solve. This academic study on entrepreneurial fundraising examines the process of resource acquisition. The research isolates the founder's personal narrative as a measurable mechanism for establishing a venture's legitimacy. The concept is known as legitimate distinctiveness. When an investor compares two startups with identical models, it is the founder's unique background, personal experience with the problem, and demonstrated grit that separates the winner from the loser. This flowchart maps the dynamic directly. On the left, a consistent personal story helps bridge information asymmetry, establishing the venture's perceived legitimacy. Moving right, this legitimacy dictates the investor's emotional involvement and financial commitment, ultimately driving the final investment decision. The data in your deck establishes the logical boundaries for a potential investment, but it is the personal story you tell in the room that creates the emotional catalyst required to actually write the check. Every successful pitch must decisively answer two questions before the meeting ends: why this specific company, and why you? When venture capitalists sit down in their Monday partner meetings, they rarely repeat a founder's revenue projections from memory. They repeat the founder's story. To build a narrative that actually secures capital, grab our $497 VC Funding Blueprint Kit. It includes the exact Canva pitch deck tools you need to pass the 5-second test, along with a financial narrative engine to align your data with your personal story. The companies investors remember aren't always the ones with the best products. They're the ones with founders whose story is impossible to forget.